Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of my Dawncraft series. In the last episode, we received a map to the Corrupt Ogre. Except, I've been doing some thinking, and I think in our current state it will be very tough to take on the Ogre, so we need a big power spike. Now, in order to do that, I want to tap into the Ars Nouveau mod. Now, if you don't know what Ars Nouveau is, it's basically a magic-based mod where we'll be able to cast spells. So we'll be able to fire projectiles, heal ourselves, have access to a bunch of utility spells. So I think that mod is pretty much a necessity if you want to progress through this mod pack in an easy fashion. So to get started, we gotta craft ourselves a worn notebook. And this is basically our manual for the Ars Nouveau mod. So it's with a lapis and a book. Lapis, we have a book. We got ourselves a worn notebook. So in here you can find basically everything you need to know about the Ars Nouveau mod. If we click getting started, let's see, spell casting. It'll teach you everything, and this is what we need. A novice spellbook. This is how we get started. So basically it's crafted with a book and pretty much every iron tool. So let's craft it. So at first, let's say iron pickaxe, an axe, and a shovel. Put everything in here, a book, and we get the novice spellbook. So basically the default key, I'm not sure what the default key, but I set mine to X to open up the book. Yours might be different. And in here, we'll be able to create our spells. Now over here on the right side, there's 10 slots. So this book can store 10 spells. And you can change them at any time, so it's not permanent. But if we go to slot 1, let's create our first spell. And basically the first basic one is a mining spell. So every spell has a form and an effect and then modifiers. We don't have any modifiers yet, so nothing appears here. But let's create a dig spell. So we want a touch and we want the break. And let's call this spell dig. Create. So if we walk up to a block and we right click, we dig the block instantly. And it uses up mana on the bottom left corner, so that's your mana bar. So now we have a dig spell. So let's create another one. If we open up our book, let's use the second slot and let's make a projectile base spell. So let's go projectile and we click on harm, and this will be our harm spell. Create. And now we can fire projectiles. So instead of having to consume arrows all the time, we can basically just fire this, and that'll be our ranged option. Now, if you've played Ars Nouveau before, you would know something is a bit off, and it's that every time I cast a spell, I zoom in, and that's not supposed to happen. There seems to be a conflict between the Epic Fight mod and Ars Nouveau that's causing this to happen, where when you cast a spell, your screen just zooms in randomly. It's not supposed to do that. So I found some solutions to this problem. The first solution is that we can go to options, go to accessibility settings, and we turn our FOV effects all the way down. And basically this makes it so that it removes the zooming in effect. It basically just removes it completely. The downside to this is that we can't tell if we're sprinting, because obviously the FOV is removed. And the other bad thing is we still get this slowness effect every time we cast a spell, which is also not supposed to happen. Now the other option would be to bind a spell to a key. So if we go to Controls, go to Keybinds, and if we go down to the Ars Nouveau section, you will find that there is a keybind available for every single spell in your spellbook. So for example, if we want to bind our projectile spell, we'll go to slot 2 and we can bind it to a key. Now I can bind it to one of my mouse buttons because it's just easy for me. And now if we press that key, we fire the spell instantly. So you don't get the weird zooming in effect, you just cast it instantly. So for me this is pretty easy, except the problem is I don't think anybody has enough keybinds to bind all 10 spells. So this is just whatever spell you find yourself using the most, you can just bind one easy access key to it, so that you won't run into the trouble of getting that weird zoom in effect. And finally, the third option would be crafting wands. I find that wands, you can bind a spell to a wand and you will also not get the weird zooming in effect, but that's for later on. I tried looking into the config folders to see if I could remove that weird zooming in effect, but there was nothing I could do. Evidently this is a developer side issue, so the developers of Dawncraft would have to fix this, because I'm pretty sure this is not supposed to be an issue. Okay? I slept through the rain. But yes, those are the two main methods that I suggest you guys to use if you guys are finding that zooming in issue, is turning your FOV all the way off and also key binding the spell that you use most with easy access key. With the easy access key, you don't get the slowness. So that's the good part. Now we want to expand our spellbook. We need to add more glyphs. These are called glyphs. So we only started off with 5, but we want more options. In order to do that, we need, I think it's called an inscription table. Right here. Oh, scribes table. And for that, we need 4 sticks and we need archwood. Now, archwood trees can be found randomly generated throughout the overworld. So let's see if we can go find ourselves an archwood tree. Okay, I found one. This is an archwood tree. They come in different colors, but it doesn't matter which color you chop down. Slaps. We got a scribes table. Let's put it right here. So if we walk up to it and right click it with our book, we can see all of the available glyphs there are. Now there's 3 different tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Right now, our book is only at tier 1, so these are the only ones that we have available to be unlocked. If we want to go to tier 2 and tier 3, we have to upgrade our spellbook. Tier 2 requires going to the nether, so that'll be off for a future episode. But for now, we can start focusing on unlocking these glyphs. Now for every glyph you unlock, it increases your mana bar and it increases your mana regeneration. So we want to unlock as many of these glyphs as we can. So if we hover over each glyph, it will tell us which materials that we need in order to unlock it. So, for example, if we wanted to craft Conjure Mage Light, we click it, select, and the two items will start hovering over the scribes table. And we need to toss in these two items in order to complete the glyph. So we gotta find ourselves a lantern and a torch. We have a torch. We need a lantern. Whoop. Whoop. And all you have to do is just toss them in, and the table will write out your glyph for you. So all we have to do is just right click it, and we have unlocked Conjure Mage Light. So if we open up our book, let's go to slot 3, and let's create a spell for our Mage Light. So it appears here. We can say touch, and we can say Conjure Mage Light. And let's just call this Mage Light. Great. So when we cast it, it creates a light source. You can break it, but you technically don't have to carry torches anymore. So how cool is that? So I'll be working on trying to unlock as many of these as I can, and I'll update you guys as I go along. So I've been doing some glyph unlocking. This is how many glyphs I've unlocked so far. Now all of these basically require normal vanilla items, but most of them require more difficult items. Particularly, for example, say if we wanted to unlock Dispel. You can see it requires 3 milk buckets, but this is an essence. And in order to craft essence, we need to get source. Now there's different types of essences, but they all require source. So how do we get source? Well, first, in order to craft the essences, we need to craft ourselves an imbuement chamber. Imbuement chamber. And it is crafted like so. 2 gold, 6 planks. Now we can place down the imbuement chamber, and this will give us source gems, which we need to create essences. In order to get source gems, we can put lapis or amethyst inside, and it will slowly convert the lapis inside into a source gem. And it's almost done. All right. This is our source gem. Now we need a lot more of these, because for each essence, it basically requires a source gem. If we look up essences, these are all the different types, and if we click on one of them, it can show us how we craft it. Each one requires always a source gem, but it also requires 3 other different materials. Now, this is not just a crafting grid. We need what we call pedestals surrounding this imbuement chamber in order to create these essences. So it's not crafting. So we need to craft these pedestals. And they are crafted like so, with arcane stone. Arcane stone is basically a source gem surrounded with stone. Now while I get the cobblestone cooking in the furnace to get stone, we need source. Basically, source is the energy system in Ars Nouveau. And in order to collect it, we need... Let's see if I can find it. This thing. An agronomic source link. Basically, this machine gathers source from growing crops nearby. So in order to craft it, we need 2 source gems, a wheat, and 2 gold. If I can remember it, 2 wheat, 2 gold, a wheat, and 2 source gems. Here we are, an agronomic source link. And we also need source jars. Hello? This thing, source jars. 6 slabs and 2 glass. I need to go fetch some glass. Got our glass. So it's 2 glass and slabs, top and bottom, and we get a source jar. Alright. Now we have everything we need to start collecting source. So basically we can just place down the agronomic source link anywhere near you have crops. And we place a source jar nearby. And what's gonna start to happen is that every time a crop grows, it's gonna feed this source link with source, and it's gonna transfer it into this jar. And this jar is gonna slowly fill up. Yep, so just like that. Start planting crops. Okay, while it's slowly filling up, let's go craft our pedestals. So, get source gems, and we take our stone, surround it, we get an arcane stone, and we can use these to craft an arcane pedestal. Now we need at least 3 of these. That's 2 more. Very nice. And we can take this, and we need to put it near this source jar. So I think this area is okay. Let's put the 3 pedestals around. So what's going to happen is that to create the essences, we need to put the 3 ingredients on these pedestals, put a source gem in the middle, and then it will automatically take source from this jar, and it will turn all the items here into the essence. So let's just wait for a little bit more source. Okay, so I'm back now. The source jar is at 100%, and we want to try to craft the dispel spell. So I already have the 3 milk buckets, but we need the aberration essence. And to craft that, we need source gem, a fermented spider eye, another milk bucket, and a sugar. So I already gathered the materials. Let's see, we need a sugar, the spider eye, there we go. By the way, I upgraded our backpack to a gold backpack, so now I have much more room, and I even added another an upgrade, the smelting upgrade, so I can now smelt stuff in my backpack. Pretty neat. So we walk up to the imbuement chamber. We need a source gem. We place that at the center. Oh, if petals are, they must be placed within the 1 block cube around the chamber. So I guess you have to place the other ingredients first. So it's a fermented spider eye, a milk bucket, and what was the third one? Sugar. And then we place our source gem in the middle. Add source nearby to increase craft speed. So I guess it's not in range of the source jar. It would do it automatically, but we can take the source. We can put it right next to it. And you can see it'll start to drain. It'll start transferring source. It'll speed up the process. And we got it. We got the aberration essence. Let's sleep real quick. Okay. Oh, I guess it doesn't even consume the ingredients. Okay. When we right click with our book, we select Dispel, select, and we toss in our ingredients. So the essence goes in, and our 3 milk buckets. Alright. And we got our Glyph of Dispel. And basically this removes all potion effects from the player. So if you want to get rid of poison, we can use the spell. So that's pretty neat. So we unlock quite a few glyphs in this episode. I would like to show you my kit so far. So there's a key where you can open up your Spellbook GUI. I set mine to F, and it's a quick selection. So if you want to quickly go through your spells, switch between them, you can just open up this GUI real quick and you just select it, just like so. So in number 1, I have my dig. In number 2, I have night vision. And basically it's just casting night vision on myself, casting mage light on myself. Technically we don't need the amplify, but that gives us night vision. In my 4th slot, I have mage block, and basically this creates a temporary block that I can use as basically like a scaffold, and after a few seconds the blocks will disappear. So that's a pretty cool utility spell. We have the spell. As you can see, it breaks one by one. In this one, I have Self and Dispel, and basically this removes all of effects. And I have Crafting. It opens up a crafting table, but the spell is kind of redundant since my backpack already has that function. And I have my Harm spell, my projectile. And I modified it with 2 amplifies, so it basically does more damage than the regular. Projectile, harm, and 2 amplifies. So, let's go test out our kit. I saw a giant's cave nearby. There it is. I think that's the giant's cave. Oh, hello? Oh. Okay. Now, gotta be careful. Oh, that's him. The giant. Oh, he has awakened. He's got 200 health. Oh, is he stuck? Can he get out? Oh, I'm using up too much mana. Well, this is gonna take some time. Let's see if I can hit him up close. Oh, okay. Maybe not. Oops. Ouch. Oh, he broke out. Oh my. So he can break out. Okay. I don't. That may have been a mistake. Oh man. Huh. Huh. It's okay. Oh, he's fast too. Looks like we're out of range. I think it's better to hit these guys from a distance. And we got him. So you could see how easy Ars Nouveau makes some fights because of its spells. What did we get? Giant Eye Fragment. A fragment of the giant's eye useful for villager quests. Huh. I don't know if it has anything to do with the eyes we're supposed to collect. No, there's no loot in here. Oh well. But I think this is a good place for us to stop. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope I was able to teach you a few things about Ars Nouveau. With Ars Nouveau, we will be ready to take on the corrupted ogre and then claim its eye. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe to get more notifications on more videos. Have a nice day and be nice to someone. Bye!